Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley reveals when she thinks Julie will be home. Savannah Chrisley has revealed when she thinks her mother, Julie Chrisley, will be home. She also shared how she told her younger siblings about the possibility of their mother returning home. Fans have been supporting the Chrisley family for a while. When they found out the two were going to prison, it was a shock to everyone. Keep reading to find out more. Julie Chrisley's conviction gets thrown out. Julie Chrisley has been in prison since 2021. She was charged with tax evasion and fraud. However, it seems the court did not have enough evidence to sentence Julie, so they threw her conviction out. This leads to a resentencing. Julie has a big chance of being able to go home. However, Todd is still in prison and will more than likely be there for a while. However, her children would love for her to come home and be in their lives. Savannah Chrisley reveals when she hopes to have her home. Savannah revealed that she is hoping to have her mother home by Thanksgiving. She also revealed that she did not want to get her hopes up and make it worse for her siblings. Savannah has been a great role model for her two younger siblings. She has had to step up and provide for them like their mother. It seems that Savannah and the rest of the family are hopeful Julie will be home by Thanksgiving. If she isn't, it is going to crush their family. They have had to miss out on being with their parents for a lot of holidays now. It would be nice to have one of their parents home. Savannah Chrisley glanced at the calendar hanging in her kitchen, its glossy pages untouched by even a single mark. She had become reluctant to write anything on it because so many of her plans these days were subject to change. Her mother Julie had been away for months now, serving her prison sentence. Every day without her felt like an eternity, but today, Savannah was full of hope. She had spent hours the previous night reading articles, parsing legal blogs, and scrolling through the faintest whispers of news related to prison reforms, hoping for anything that might hint at her mother's return. As she stirred her morning coffee, her phone rang. The name Julie flashed on the screen, and Savannah felt a pang in her chest. The calls were limited, their conversations timed, and every word was measured as if they had to stretch them out over weeks to keep each other sane. Taking a deep breath, Savannah picked up. "Hey, Mama," she greeted, her voice both cheerful and tender. She could hear the familiar warmth of Julie's tone as she responded. "Good morning, darling. What's the latest on Grayson and Chloe?" Julie asked. It was always her first question, asking about her grandchildren as though she could piece together a world outside the walls through their small updates. "They're good. Grayson is swamped with schoolwork, and Chloe, well, she's trying out for the school play. She's so excited. Said she wants to be Juliet. You know, she actually practiced her lines for me last night. She's got that dramatic flair, just like you." Julie chuckled softly on the other end. "She does, doesn't she? That girl was born with a spotlight on her. Just wait until she's a teenager." A pause lingered between them, the kind of silence that grew heavier when they both felt it. The emptiness left by Julie's absence in these moments. "I've been reading up on everything, Mama," Savannah finally ventured, her voice quieter. "I know your release date feels far off, but there are options, early release, appeals, maybe even a sentence reduction." Julie sighed softly. "Honey, I don't want you to get your hopes up. I've got time here, and though it's hard, I'm learning how to find peace with it. But I'll be home someday. Maybe sooner than we think, if all goes well." There was a hint of optimism in her tone, something gentle yet grounded. She wanted to believe it too. After the call ended, Savannah went out onto her porch, breathing in the cool morning air as her mind whirred with thoughts. There had to be something more she could do, some stone left unturned. It wasn't just her mother she was fighting for. It was the Chrisley family as a whole, struggling under the weight of this upheaval. Without Julie, the family's very foundation felt shaky. Savannah felt a renewed determination. She picked up her laptop, diving into an ocean of legal terms and prison reform updates. She read every new case where sentences had been reduced or commuted, scanning for even the slightest glimmer of hope. She remembered a story of a woman who had been released early due to exemplary behavior, another whose family had campaigned tirelessly until they finally saw her set free. Savannah knew her mother's conduct in prison had been spotless, and she was betting on it making a difference. In the following weeks, Savannah took to social media, sharing updates and stories about her mother. Every post was carefully crafted, speaking of Julie's strength, resilience, and kindness. It was about more than the sentence. It was about people understanding who Julie was beyond the headlines. She knew her mom as a woman of faith, as someone who loved her family fiercely, and as someone who had faced adversity with grace. One day, Savannah received a message from a woman named Karen, whose mother had been released early through a prison rehabilitation program. They chatted over the phone, and Karen explained how letters, petitions, and testimonials had helped her mother's case. Savannah was intrigued, and she started reaching out to Julie's friends and even fans who had shown support. They flooded her inbox with kind words and messages, so many that Savannah could barely keep up. "I want people to know the real you, Mama," Savannah told Julie during their next phone call, her voice brimming with resolve. "I'm going to do everything in my power to bring you home sooner. You don't deserve to spend another day longer than necessary." Julie's voice softened, touched by her daughter's dedication. "I don't know what I did to deserve a daughter as wonderful as you, Savannah, but promise me one thing, don't forget to live your life too. I know you're fighting for me, but don't lose yourself in it. The best thing you can do is live a life you're proud of." After the call, Savannah decided to channel that advice into a new venture. With her brother Chase's help, she started a podcast called Holding Home Together, where she shared stories about her family, resilience, and how they were all holding up. Fans tuned in by the thousands, offering support, stories of their own, and advice. The podcast became her way to connect not only with her mom's supporters but with others going through similar struggles. It was as though she was building a bridge that Julie could cross when she finally came home. Through the podcast, Savannah shared little milestones: Chloe getting the part of Juliet, Grayson's latest achievements at school, and even Chase's attempts to cook a family dinner. These small victories reminded her that life kept moving forward, even if one of them was missing. It was as if Savannah was writing a story that Julie could catch up on when she was home, proof that life didn't stop, and neither did their love for her. Then one day, while Savannah was recording, she received an unexpected call from her mother's lawyer. Her heart skipped a beat as she paused the recording, hands trembling as she answered. "Savannah, there's news," the lawyer began, his tone steady but filled with a cautious optimism. "The new prison reform policies might be eligible for Julie's case. It's not a guarantee, but there's a possibility she could be home sooner than her sentence." Savannah was speechless, the weight of those words crashing over her. It was the first tangible hope she'd held in her hands since this whole ordeal had begun. She thanked the lawyer profusely, her heart thundering as she absorbed the news. For the first time in months, she let herself believe it was possible. As she resumed recording, her voice held a new brightness. "There's been a development," she announced, her voice trembling. "It's not set in stone, but we might be closer to bringing my mom home. I just want everyone listening to know that your support means the world to us. It's kept us going, and one day soon, I hope my mom will be here with us, with all of you." From that day forward, Savannah felt as though she were counting down the days until she could welcome Julie back home. There was still uncertainty, still legal battles and processes to face, but the end of the tunnel finally had a glimmer of light. Savannah's hope turned into something solid and unshakable. She envisioned that day with every detail vivid in her mind: the hug, the tears, the warmth of family reunited. For now, she would hold on to that vision, one heartbeat at a time, until the day came when her mother, Savannah Chrisley, would finally walk through the front door, back where she belonged.